Hi, I'm Pradeep Haldar. Today I'm going to discuss about the control and coordination in standard 10. What is control? Control means to the power to influence or the determine the behavior. Whereas the coordination means the systematic working process of the organs to achieve the goal. Now we know that respond against the stimulus is the most important features for the living organism. What is stimulus? Stimulus means any external factor which stimulate our cell to give the response. Suppose it can be the air, water, light, chemical substances or the electricity. These are all the stimulating factors. If they are came in the contact of our body, then our cell is going to be respond. But how this process occur? When some stimulus are at the attachment of our body, then our body have some receptor. Receptor means those are going to receive the stimulating factor, generally the nerve endings, and they are send this stimulating or this factor to the central nervous system by using a specialized nerve that known as a sensory nerve. Now this central nervous system are sending the replay by using a specialized nerve that known as a motor nerve, and the replay will be sent in the effector. Effector means the functional zone. Now we are going to respond. This type of activity occur in our daily life. This type of activity are generally known as a control and coordination. In simple words, within our body, some small and but interlinked processes are performed, which resulting to perform a large function. Suppose someone is feeling hungry, someone is required the energy. So to produce the energy, we have to perform the respiration, and before the respiration, we have to complete our nutrition. And we know that in the nutrition, we have to intake of food, that known as a ingestion. After the ingestion, the food will be digested, that known as a digestion. And this digestion simplified food will be absorbed and transported through the blood to the cell cytoplasm, that known as a assimilation. After the assimilation, the respiration starts. This type of small but the interlinked process are regularly occur within our body to perform a larger function. This type of activity are known as a control and coordination. Or in another word, the systematic working process of the organ to give a proper response against the stimulus, that known as a control and coordination. Now, why the control and coordination is important one? So within our body, the huge number of organs are present. Now we know that every and each organ should be carefully controlled and coordinated to perform their function for the survival of the daily life. Even within our body, some specialized gland present which secrete the hormone. These hormones are responsible for the overall growth and development of the body. Clear? Now, plants are also the living organism. Plants are also the responding against the stimulus. How the plant respond against the stimulus? Plant does not contain the system which are present in the animal's body. They are slightly different. Generally, the plants are the non-locomoting organism. They are not performing the locomotion. It means they can fix in their own position, in their own place, but transforming the body parts from one level to the another level. Change of position take place in the plant, but not change in the place. So how the plant are control and coordination take place in a plant. Now in case of the plant contains some specialized tissue which known as a meristematic tissue. This tissue can secrete some chemical substance which mainly regulates the growth of the plant. They are known as a plant hormone. So by using the plant hormone, plant can perform the plant control and coordination, or by performing the movement, plant are also able to control and to perform the control and coordination. Now we are going to discuss about the control and coordination in plant. Generally, how the control and coordination take place in plant? By using the two ways: plant movement, and another one is by using a plant hormone. Now, already we discussed about the definition of movement. On the basis of the growth, the plant movement are two types: growth dependent movement, and growth independent. Growth means change in size or shape. The movement which occurs due to the perform of the growth, that known as a growth dependent movement. Whereas the growth independent movement, the movement performed without performing the growth. Now, these growth dependent movement are very slow in nature. Suppose in a dark room or the closed room, we placed a healthy potted plant beside of the window and just open the window. This is the only source of entering the sunlight into the room. After few days, we will observe that the branch of the plant are moved towards the window to achieve the sunlight which are required for the performing of photosynthesis. It means the plant stem are going to bend towards the window. It means they are performing the cell division. And by performing the cell division, they will increase the cell number that will help to perform the growth. Clear? So the growth dependent movement are very slow in nature. Cell division take place, and the most important one, growth dependent movement will be the directional movement of the plant. Directional movement of the plant for the stimulus. The directional movement of the plant for the stimulus. Now this type of movement also known as a trophic movement. On the other hand, the growth independent movement, it means this type of movement take place in the plant without performing the growth. Now suppose we touch the touch-me-not plant or mimosa. Quickly they are going to respond against the touch. Now in this type of movement, when we touch, it means we are providing the external stimulus. Without performing the cell division, they are going to respond. So there is no growth take place. This type of movement are known as a growth independent movement. So growth independent movement are very fast in nature. Cell division does not take place, and mainly the growth independent movement are known as the non-directional movement of the plant for stimulus. The non-directional movement of the plant for the stimulus. Now, this type of movement also known as a nastic movement. Nastic movement. Now, we are going to discuss about the tropic movement. What is tropic movement? Tropic movement means the directional movement of the plant for the stimulus. Clear? So, different type of tropic movement will be performed by the plant. The first one is phototropic. Photo means light, tropic means directional movement. So, the directional movement of the plant for the sunlight, or if the external stimulus will be sunlight, then the plant body parts move towards the sunlight or away from the sunlight. This type of movement are termed as a phototropic movement. Suppose in a plant, this is a diagram of a plant. This is the diagram of a plant. And this is the source of the sunlight. Now, the plant stem are always moved towards the sunlight. So, in a plant, the stem always move towards the sunlight. So, they are showing the positively phototropic movement. And the root are moved away from the sunlight. So, root are showing the negatively phototropic movement. But the leaves are transverse or quite parallel to the source of the sunlight. That's why they are showing the transverse phototropic movement. Now, the second one is geotropic movement. Geo means gravity. What is geotropic movement? Suppose, what is geotropic movement? It means the directional movement of the plant due to the gravitation or the gravity. Now, this is a plant. This is a plant. We know the gravitational force present at the earth of the center. There is a gravitation. If the external stimulus will be the gravity, then the plant body parts move towards the gravity or away from the gravity. That known as a geotropic movement. So the plant root are always moved. In a plant, the plant root are always moved towards the source of the gravity. That's why the root are showing the positively geotropic movement. Clear? The second one, the plant stems are always away from the gravity. That's why they are showing the negatively geotropic movement. And the leaves are quite transverse due to the further gravity. That's why they are showing the parallel or the transverse geotropic movement. So you have to notice that in the respiratory root of the mangrove tree are showing the anti-gravitational movement or the showing the negatively geotropic movement. So this is the example for a root which performing the negatively geotropic movement. What is the answer will be? The respiratory root of the mangrove trees. Now the third one is hydrotropic. Hydro means water. So the directional movement of the plant for the water, that known as a hydrotropic movement. Or if the external stimulus will be the water, then the plant body parts will move towards the water or away from the water. We know that the plant root are absorbing the water. It means the water are present within the soil. So the plant root are always moved towards the source of the water. That's why they are showing the positively hydrotropic movement. Positively hydrotropic movement. And this water in transporting in a plant are quite upward by the help of the xylem. So, by the help of the xylem. And the plant stem are moved away from the source of the water. That's why they are showing the negatively hydrotropic movement. So, in case of this, here is no transverse hydroponic movement because the transportation of the water are quite upward by the help of xylem tissue. Now the next one is chemotropic movement. Chemo means chemical. The directional movement of the plant for the chemical substance that known as a chemotropic movement. Now, after the pollination, suppose we draw the diagram of a female portion of a flower. These are the ovary, style, stigma. Now, after the pollination, the pollen grains will be attached in the stigma, or pollination means transfer of the pollen grains from anther to the stigma. Within the ovary, the ovules are present. Generally, these ovules are secreting the chemical substance, sweet chemical substance, and the pollen grains are going to respond by forming some pollen tube. This pollen tube. Now this pollen tube move towards the chemical substance to fertilize the ovules. So the movement of the pollen tube, is a type of chemotropic movement. And the last one is thigmotropic movement. Thigmotropic movement. Thigmo means touch. Thigmo means touch. So the directional movement of the plant for the touch or the support touch, or the when the suppose this is a plant, pea plant. Generally the pea plant, some leaves are transforming into the spring-like structure. They are known as a tendrils. Now, when these tendrils found some support touch, these are the support touch. These tendrils are going to touch the support and continuously rotate the support. And after few days, the plant are moved towards the support. This type of movement are known as a thigmotropic movement. Now, in our next hand, we have the other type of movement that known as a nastic movement. Generally, the nastic movement means the movement of the plant, the non-directional movement of the plant for the stimulus. So here the way or the source of the stimulus are not important. Here is the stimulus is important. Generally, the intensity of stimulus playing important role. The first one is photonasty movement. In our daily life, do you have observed the arrangement of the leaves in a banana tree? Sometimes the leaves are folded upwardly. It means the lower portion region performing the huge amount of cell division as compared to the upper layer portion. So they are bending the lower portion towards the upward. Or sometimes the upper layer of the banana tree's leaf performing the huge amount of cell division which are bending towards the downward. This type of events take place in the banana tree. Now, when we discussing this the nastic movement, two things are important. In case of the banana tree, that is the epinasty and the hyponasty. Epinasty means the apical part are going to be bent, or pollination take place in the apical part. It means lower parts are going to be performing the huge amount of cell division. That's why the upper layer are going to be folded. Whereas in the hyponasty, the upper layer performing huge amount of cell division and lowermost part of a banana tree or the leaves of the banana tree are going to be folded. That known as a hyponasty. But in our syllabus, some type of nastic movement present. For an example, photonasty. What is photonastic movement? Nastic means non-directional movement of the plant and photo means light. So the non-directional movement of a plant for the light that known as a photonesty. The example of this type of movement is the best example is the sunflower. Generally, sunflower is a long day plant. For the development of the sunflower, it requires 10 to 12 hours sunlight. This type of plant are termed as a long day plant. That's why the sunflower are rose at the summer season, not in the winter season. Because to the development of the sunflower, or for the rosing of the sunflower, almost 10 hours sunlight required. Here the sunlight is important, the duration of the sunlight is important, not the source of the sunlight or the way of sunlight. So the sunflower are performing the photonestic movement. And another one is thermonesty. Thermo means temperature and nasty means non-directional movement. The non-directional movement of the plant for the temperature, that known as a thermonesty movement. Generally, the moonflower are developing at the evening time or the night time, not in the daytime. Generally, the moonflower, the receptor of the moonflower achieving some amount of temperature or a turn temperature, then they are going to be developed. They are opening. They opens at the night time, whereas they close in the daytime. The next one is, the most important is chemonasty movement. So the non-directional movement of the plant for the chemical substance, that known as a chemonasty movement. Now, we all know about the insectivorous plant. Insectivorous plant. It means this type of plant eats the insect to fulfill the nitrogenous amount in the body. But how? This type of plant contains some specialized structure. Specialized structure that's known as a venous flytrap. When any insect around this type venous flytrap, these venous flytrap are going to be respond and close the mouth or the opening part. These venous flytrap are then attached within the jelly-like substance which is present within the venous flytrap, and this insect are going to supply some amount of nitrogenous product to the plant. So this type of movement are known as a chemonasty movement. And the next one is phygmonasty movement. We all know about the touch me not plant. When we touch the plant, they are going to be respond quite fastly. In case of the touch me not plant, they contain some hydrophore cell or the water storing cell and form some specialized structure that known as a palvini. Suppose this is the leaves. These are the palvini. When we touch the leaves, it means we are providing some amount of temperature. So your water will be evaporates. And due to the deficiency of the water, these leaves are going to be respond. But after few minutes or a few seconds, the ascent of salts take place and the water will be placed in the palvini and their shape will be the previous one. Now these are the movement in the plant. Now we are going to discuss about the plant hormone. Generally, in case of the plant, they contain some specialized tissue known as a meristematic tissue, or meristematic tissue are the tissue where the cell division take place. Plant hormone or the control coordination in plant or the chemical coordinator. So some chemical substance secrete from the meristematic tissue which are going to be circulated or transported by the help of the water to the distal part of the body. It means away from the source region. Act on that region and after the activity they are going to be destroyed. This type of substance are known as a plant hormone. Plant hormone. Most of the plant hormone are the growth regulatory substance. Growth regulatory substance. That's why they are also known as the phytohormones. Phytohormone. Now, one of the most important one, why the hormone termed as a chemical coordinator? Generally, hormone is a chemical substance. Now, this chemical substance slowly can coordinate between the source region and target region. Source region means the region from where the hormone is secreted, and target region means the functional zone of the hormone, or the hormone where they are going to be act, and after the activity they are going to be destroyed. That's why the hormone termed as a chemical coordinator. Now, on the basis of the usefulness and their source, the plant hormone are few types in a plant, or the phytohormone are defined types. The first one is natural plant hormone. Natural plant hormone. Natural plant hormone means this type of hormone present in the plant body. We know their structure and function. This type of hormone are termed as a natural plant hormone. The natural plant hormone will be the auxin, gibberellin, cytokinin, abscisic acid or ABA, etc. are the natural plant hormone. Now, plant hormones are very important for the agriculture of the human society. So, similar product will be synthesis in the lab. This type of plant hormone are termed as a artificial or man-made plant hormone. Man-made plant hormone. So, this type of hormone prepared in the lab. The artificial plant hormone of the auxin is IBA. These are artificially prepared in a lab, but this substance can perform the similar type of activity which performed by the auxin. IBA, IPA, all of the artificial hormone of auxin. Now, within the plant body, some hormone may present. Some hormone may present, but we does not know their structure and function. These are known as a postulated plant hormone. The example of the postulated plant hormone is thorizen, vanillin, is all of the postulated plant hormone. Within the plant body, another type of plant hormone present, but when we judge the state of this hormone, they are gases in nature. So, another type is gases. It's the ethylene, C2H4. Similarly, C2, we know the structure and function of this hormone. That's why this the gases hormone of the plant, or the ethylene, also belong to the natural plant hormone. Now, in our syllabus, we have this hormone. Now, the function of auxin. Generally, the scientific name of the auxin is indole acetic acid or indole 3 acetic acid. Now, the first one is apical dominance. Auxin are always act on the apical tip of the stem or apical tip of the root, and increasing the length of the plant instead of the wideness, that known as a apical dominance. By applying the auxin, we can produce the seedless food like the banana or the grapes, that known as a parthenocarpy. So auxin help in the apical dominance, auxin help in the parthenocarpy. Parthenocarpy means the production of seedless food. How can we prepare the parthenocarpy or the seedless food? Before the fertilization, if the amount of auxin will be increased within the ovary, then without forming the seed, the ovary will be from the fruits. Now, auxin plays important role in the photoelastic movement. The second one is gibberellin. The scientific name is gibberellic acid. The Japanese scientist Jabuta first find the specific substance within a fungus that known as a Gibberella fujiguji, and to denote the fungus name, they coined the term gibberellins. We generally denote by the Ga or gibberellic acid. Now, what are the function? Gibberellin hormone mainly can increase the internodal length of the short plant. If the plant size are quite less, then this type of hormone can increase the internodal length, or means the length between two nodes. The breaking the seed dormancy. Generally, every seed having a non-germinal period. If the amount of gibberellin will be increased, or the amount will be regulated within the seed, then the seeds are going to perform the germination. Now cytokinin, these are the main hormone which promote the cell division in plant. And the next one, these are the abscisic acid. What is abscisic acid? Generally, abscisic acid are the growth inhibitor. These three hormones mainly regulates the growth, whereas the abscisic acid inhibits the growth. That's why it is known as a antioxidant, anti-gibberellin, or anti-cytokinin. Now the second one, this abscisic acid, also known as a stress hormone of a plant. Now during the critical condition, or if in a mountain region, if the snowfall continuously occur, then the crisis of water may be take place. Now during that, this abscisic acid will increase the amount and reduce the transpiration rate by closing the stomata. That's why this type of hormone known as a stress hormone of the plant. And the last one is the gaseous hormone, that is the ethylene, that help in the fruits ripening. These are the plant hormone. Hope you understand about the control coordination in the plant. In our next video, we will discuss about the control coordination in human beings or in animals. Till then, bye. Have a good day.